A new update has arrived to GTA Online this week, which has brought about a ton of game changes along with a ton of great discounts as well. And so today on the show, we will be discussing these discounts and I'll be giving a review and a breakdown of some of the best purchases that you can acquire this week in GTA Online. This video is all about what you should buy and also about what you should avoid buying this week. I know a lot of you put a lot of time and effort into building your wealth in GTA Online, and honestly, it would be quite a shame to see it wasted on useless purchases. So I did the work for you this week by putting together a helpful buyer's guide so you can get the most value out of your spending. And so with that said, if you enjoyed this video at any point or if you just find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you'd like to stay up to date with everything GTA Online and Rockstar games, consider hitting that subscribe button with your bell notifications turned on. Let's start off with our major property discount for the week, and then we will move on to the vehicle discounts after that. So we have an opportunity for 40% off the Arena Workshop, Arena Modifications, and Arena Workshop upgrades. The content itself inside of Arena Wars is actually quite fun with friends or with randoms, but it's not really super good for money making, even with double money opportunities like we have this week. The main advantage of purchasing this Arena Workshop is getting the taxi cab through the Arena Wars ranks, which you can get really fast with the double arena points offered with this Arena Wars game modes update. Plus, the Arena Workshop is pretty sweet for vehicle customization, as you can change headlight colors and perform some pretty sick Mad Max and Death Race style upgrades on select vehicles in GTA Online. These vehicles will be turned into battle ready machines capable of complete GTA Online public lobby destruction. Overall, I just say that this should be towards the end of players' bucket lists of big purchases that they would make in this game, but if you have, say, $12 million in spare cash to throw around, it's definitely worth investing in the Arena Workshop as well as some of the vehicles offered exclusively through this DLC workshop in GTA Online, and we're going to get into some of those. So moving into the vehicle discounts, first we have an offer for 30% off the Gratia Itali GTO. The Itali GTO possesses very good acceleration, good top speed and braking, making this vehicle a capable getaway car. However, its durability is fragile at best in terms of collisions on the road. This vehicle has a very interesting history too, because before a patch, the handling was very twitchy at high speeds. It could maintain most of its speed around a light turn, but turning too hard would cause this car to oversteer very easily, and this vehicle would also become especially sensitive and unstable over bumps on the road, and all these issues made this car extremely problematic to drive, such as in scenarios where the player has to weave through traffic, which is probably most scenarios in Los Santos. And so after Rockstar issued an update, the car's handling has been remarkably improved to today, with the twitchy aspect and the instability over bumps and steering almost completely negated. And while they are still present at times, the Itali GTO has become much more controllable, therefore being a very competitive vehicle for races, especially in direct comparison to the Pariah. Next up, we have 30% off the Principe Devest 8. Overall, the Devest 8 has moderate acceleration but an excellent top speed. It features a really long wheelbase, and when coupled with its average traction, it means that this vehicle loses time to grippier supercars in races with many corners, but the straight line speed is impeccable. It tops out as the second fastest car in the Supers class, only behind the Pfister 811, and despite this, it is only the fourth fastest regular car in the game, as both the Pariah and the Itali RSX in the sports class are faster than any of the Supers. But as a result, it is one of the best supercars in the game for stunt races, and in regular racing consisting of actual corners, the Devest 8 will still almost always be beaten by cars with good cornering capabilities, such as the Emers or the Krieger. So just think of this vehicle as really being only good in straight lines. Next up, we have 40% off the Pegassi Zentorno. Surprisingly, the Zentorno is very competitive with high-end supercars around a normal circuit due to its superb cornering speeds. It can also reach really high top speeds, making it faster than comparable cars that released around the same time like the Turismo or OG vehicles like the Entity XF, Infernus, and the Cheetah. In fact, in its stock form, this is the fastest accelerating supercar in the game. Funny enough, it's almost on par with the Rocket Voltic. The Zentorno is extremely responsive as it can take corners at high speeds with relative ease due to the lowered suspension and the good weight distribution. One thing that should be noted though is the high output engine may also become difficult to control for inexperienced drivers in this game, but this vehicle has very minimal oversteer, but it can still spin out due to its handling power, and it doesn't always lose control too easily, so it is still pretty good. Next up, we have an offer for 30% off every single Arena Wars upgradable vehicle in the game. So let's talk about the upgradable Apocalypse versions of all these vehicles to start. we have 30% off the Death Bike. The Death Bike is similar to the Gargoyle in terms of handling, but it has possibly the highest top speed of all land vehicles at a whopping 150 miles an hour. This bike has great traction thanks to the rear tire that's wrapped with a chain, meaning the wheels don't spin as easily when vigorously setting off on the track, and this motorcycle also has really good handling thanks to a large steering radius that it possesses. Overall, the Apocalypse upgrades makes it an excellent choice for hit and runs when you need a quick getaway. You can equip jump mods, boosts, and weapons like miniguns, saw blades, and armor plating to have the ultimate motorcycle in GTA Online. After that, we have an offer for 30% off the Apocalypse Dominator. The Dominator features a high torque engine that gives it decent acceleration and an above average top speed. It's one of the fastest muscle cars in a straight line because of its impressive torque, but this is also the Dominator's major flaw, as the raw power the engine supplies makes this car very difficult to control around corners. It does have a tendency to engage in bouts of immense oversteer as well, and you'll find yourself fishtailing around certain corners in the game. While its severe handling issues may make it a bad choice for inexperienced drivers, the Dominator can reward those skilled drivers who take the time to learn the driving style by being a very good car for racing, with only a select few other muscle cars able to keep up with it. You can also equip jump and shunt mods, the boost, lots of armor plating as well as a ram bar, 50 caliber machine guns, and various proximity mines to this vehicle. After that, for number 6, 30% off the Impaler. This vehicle improves over the standard version in top speed and acceleration due to the weight reduction, and its brakes also appear to be more efficient due to the rear wheels having more grip. However, it suffers from losing control when steering too sharply, a flaw that is carried from the standard Impaler. So you can equip the same Arena Wars upgrades on this vehicle that we've mentioned with the previous ones to turn it into the Apocalypse version. Now, just to let you know, these discounts are on upgrading these vehicles itself to the Apocalypse version or any other Arena Wars version. It's not on the vehicle itself, which isn't super expensive. The upgrades, though, is really where the cost comes into play, and so it's good to see the upgrades actually discounted. Next, we have 30% off the Apocalypse Bruiser. For a large six-wheeled vehicle, the Bruiser handles remarkably well. Its acceleration is above average, and it easily outclasses other vehicles of its size, such as the Phantom or the Barracks. The top speed is acceptable at around 100 miles an hour or so before redlining. The braking, however, leaves much to be desired, as it is very slow to come to a complete stop, but it is manageable if caution is used, and due to the vehicle's incredibly long wheelbase, it struggles a bit when navigating the streets or the arena, and it tends to suffer from understeer when accelerating, fishtailing around corners. You can equip all Arena Wars vehicle upgrades on the Bruiser. After that, 30% off the Apocalypse Issy. This vehicle retains most of the properties from the base model Issy, being a very nimble, agile vehicle. However, at a higher top speed and with higher suspension, the increased weight means it has rather low acceleration in the game. The high suspension also allows the car to sort out obstacles better than the stock version, but because of the rear wheel drive layout, it does struggle to climb steep hills in comparison to dedicated off-road vehicles. In Arena Wars modes, the Issy is generally inferior to most other arena contenders due to its size, being easily pushed away by heavier vehicles. However, it works great in modes such as Flag War and Game Masters, as it can squeeze through the narrow areas where most cars can't. While it isn't as nimble and agile as the Death Bike, it can still offer protection to the driver against collisions and kinetic mines. After that, we have 30% off the Apocalypse Sasquatch. The Sasquatch performs very similarly to the Liberator and the Marshal, but it does have a higher top speed and better acceleration, taking only a few seconds to reach 60 miles an hour. Braking is also very good for a vehicle of this size, only taking a few seconds to come to a complete stop. However, the relatively light mass makes it unable to push other vehicles out of the way without slowing down like the Bruiser and the Cerberus, for example, and attempting to run over smaller vehicles at higher speeds will often launch itself up in the air and bounce around like crazy, which can make recovery of this vehicle a big challenge. Next, we have 30% off the Apocalypse Slam Van. This vehicle performs very similarly to the base model Slam Van as well, having just average acceleration and top speed. However, the player may experience fishtailing upon initial acceleration due to the high amount of engine power delivered to the rear wheels, and to some degree of understeer you'll find at high speeds. The unequal weight distribution, the short wheelbase, and the wide rear axle means it can easily lose control if you hit an obstacle with this vehicle, and because of this, the Slam Van can be very difficult to use in Arena Wars modes due to the narrow spaces and short roads of the arena maps. So when it comes to what I recommend you buy and what I recommend you avoid buying, I recommend you buy the Arena Workshop if you have at least 10 to 12 million plus that you literally do not need for any other content this week. I highly recommend you get the Gratiatali GTO, and if you have that, try out the Princess anticipate a Vest 8, although that would be my second choice of the Italia GTO. 100% get the Pegassi Zentorno. It's an OG vehicle, but it's still one of the best to use in the game just for being as good as it is. You know, it's not the top of its class by any means, but it's still like a top 25 supercar vehicle in the game, and it's just an OG amazing supercar. Next up, I definitely recommend you get the Apocalypse Death Bike as well, which is amazing for free mode and the Arena Wars game modes. The Sasquatch, the Issy, and the Impaler are just very good for the Arena Wars game modes, whereas the Dominator and the Apocalypse Bruiser are great for free mode as Arena Wars vehicles. And what I recommend you avoid buying is just the Apocalypse Slam Van. Stay away from that and don't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. With all that said, we've reviewed every major discounted purchase here in GTA Online for this week. I'd love to know what you think about the property and the vehicle discounts. I'd love to hear your ranking list in the comments below on which vehicles you want to buy, which vehicles you don't think you're going to buy, which ones you already own or don't already own. So with that said, hopefully you all enjoyed the video today, and if you did, hopefully I earned your like on it. And of course, if you are new to my channel and you want to stay up to date with all the best GTA Online and Rockstar Games content, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single thing we post here on the channel. We consistently talk about updates, news, information, tips, tricks, and even leaks, and we'll keep you guys updated here on the channel daily, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube, and you're more than welcome to ask me any questions on those platforms. You can follow me at Hazardous HDTV, and all of my social media links can be found in the description down below. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching, everyone. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next GTA Online video. Adios, amigos.